Hey everyone, this is Leo, game developer for Bellum games, and today we're going to look into how to play Conquest First Blood. In Conquest First Blood, regiments fight against one another, making use of intricate small-scale infantry tactics. To do this, simply you must plan ahead in the sequence of actions that each one of your group of soldiers will operate in. Once everything has been deployed, each player takes all of their command cards and arranges them in a face-down deck called the command stack. The order the cards have been arranged in determines the order in which a player's regiments will activate. However, in First Blood, players do not activate their entire warband in one go before passing play to their opponent. Instead, each player activates a single group of soldiers called a regiment, or character, before play passes on to their opponent. This makes up for an always evolving and constantly changing fight, where not only do you have to plan ahead for your own actions, but you also need to take account what your opponent will be doing in between. Now it is time to see who seizes the initiative and gets to strike the first blow. Both players now roll off. The player whose command stack contains the least amount of cards may influence that roll. The player that rolled the lowest goes first. Once you've decided on the sequence of activation for this round, it's time for battle to start. The first player draws the first card from the command stack and activates a regiment of the same name. Once you have selected the regiment to activate, you can now choose to perform up to 2 actions. Actions are separated into 2 categories, in combat and out of combat actions that can be used when engaged or unengaged respectively. No action can be used more than once except for march. Some regiments have additional abilities called draw events that activate when their card is drawn. You can read more about these on the special rules and draw event sections of the rulebook. To move through the battlefield, a regiment can perform a march action in which it can move a distance in inches equal to its march characteristics. With this move, they can travel around the battlefield, enter and navigate buildings. Some regiments may enter the battle from reinforcements. You can easily identify those regiments by the flank special rule in their characteristics profile. Each scenario will give you all the information you need to know about where regiments are deployed and where they enter the battlefield as reinforcements. Carefully maneuvering your force and claiming points of tactical interest is incredibly important in order to win the game, but the real heart of First Blood is in the in-combat intricate soldier-to-soldier action. To charge, simply roll a d6 and add it to your march characteristic. This is your charge distance. Measure from the charging regiment's leader to the nearest enemy model belonging to any of the target regiments. If the charge distance is equal to or greater than that, then the charge is successful. Starting with your regiment's leader, move each model so that it engages an enemy. An engaged enemy is one that is within engagement range of one of your models. Most models have an engagement range of 1 inch, but some models, like those with support, have an extended engagement range. You can easily tell from the miniature. If the model's weapon looks like it could attack someone from afar, it's almost always the case that it can. Having performed a successful charge action, it is time to fight!
Leo, calm down. Calm down. We went through this. Give me the sword.
To clash, models in the clashing regiment may make a move up to 2 inches to come within engagement range of more enemy models. All models that have an enemy within engagement range may attack, contributing a number of attacks equal to their attack's characteristic. Models that do not have an enemy model within engagement range do not contribute any attacks. However, models from different regiments can fight alongside one another, creating interesting ad hoc formations. If a model has a long enough engagement range, it may attack an enemy through a friendly model, like this group of household guards that are using their halberds to attack those raiders. Now it's time to pull the dice together and roll. Each result that is equal to or less than the model's class characteristic is a hit. Having previously performed a successful charge action, your models get the inspired bonus, increasing their class by 1. Once hits are resolved, it is your opponent's turn to roll for defense. Again, each dice roll equal to or less than the regiment's defense characteristic is a success. Each fail results in a wound. Models take wounds equal to the amount of failed defense rolls and are removed when all of their wounds are gone. Only models within engagement range of a classing regiment's model may be allocated wounds. Once all engaged models have been destroyed, any remaining wounds are lost. In First Blood, however, as soldiers die, their formation crumbles, openings are formed and additional damage is caused. Some of them die due to injuries, or simply some of them run to fight another day. For each wound suffered, the regiment, not just engaged models, make a morale test. Each roll equal to or less than the regiment's resolve characteristic is a success, Otherwise, it's a fail and you take another wound. At this point, you've probably noticed the pattern here. Rolling low is always good. There are regiments in the game that would rather avoid hand-to-hand combat entirely and would rather focus fighting over a distance. These are, of course, ranged regiments. You can easily identify a ranged regiment by the barrage special rule in their characteristics profile and the actual missile weapon on their model. If it looks like it can shoot a projectile, then it probably can. The barrage rule will tell you how many shots each model can fire, how far away, and whether these attacks are influenced by any sort of special rule like armor piercing. To fire, simply make sure your models have their target within line of sight, that is, to be able to draw a line from your models to the enemy models. Then, check whether each model has models from that regiment within range. Finally, roll a number of dice equal to the number of shots each model contributes. Every roll equal to or under your volley characteristic is a hit. You may also perform an aim action before volleying to gain +1 to your volley characteristic. Unlike hand-to-hand combat, range attacks do not cause morale tests and are inflicted to every model in the regiment, not just the models that are in range. Finally, each model that perishes in combat leaves behind a casualty token. These markers represent injured or fleeing soldiers during their last moments right before they're removed from the game and gives a small window of opportunity for the player to be able to heal and revive them. If, however, these soldiers are not revived by the beginning of the regiment's next activation, they're lost for good and may not be restored later on during the game. This was a short intro to Conquest First Blood. You can find all of the rules available for free on our website. Make sure to join our Discord and download our free Army Builder app. Thank you for watching. No! Pa, 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 pa. Ah, ah. This is gonna be a hard day. Lupon.